Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We created this really cool stylized Frankenstein look. We made it really Tim Burton-like, and I didn't even do it intentionally, but I love the way that it turned out. We also used ideas as far as the stitches technique from Rick Baker's original gorgeous Bride of Frankenstein, and we started this out by taking red alcohol paints that looked like blood, dark red, blood colored, and we created the openings. This is where the skin is stitched together and is kind of opening up, and we mapped out all the shapes that we wanted with this. You can also start out with like an eyeshadow to get the shapes that you want. The face shapes that we did are inspired by Penny Dreadful. The guy on there, Frankenstein's monster, the way that his scar was, I actually took the idea from that shape to create the little stitches on the face. So that's where that inspiration came from. And then with different shades of green in water-activated face paint, I colored in each section like a different shade of green. I didn't want any of the same color to touch each other, if that makes sense. I started out with the straight, just dark green from Mayron Paradise Paints, and then I mixed in lime for a few of the other sections. There was still a little bit of the darker green on the brush, so it's not straight lime, it's a little bit mixed. And there was one section left that needed to be a different shade, so I mixed in a little bit of black into the green to create a darker green, and so that wasn't the only dark green section, I made the arm dark green as well. And then back with the red alcohol activated paints, I freshened up the stitch opening things because we covered them up with a little bit of that green paint, so I just freshened those guys up. Then with a little bit of white cream paint, I highlighted certain areas. This is like under the eyes, and I know I did the collarbones as well, the nose, above the brow, the cupid's bow, the chin, all the regular highlighting places. To help blend that in, as you probably saw, I was using a like dome brush, foundation brush, to pat that in, and then sometimes I would go back in with the brush that we used with the original painting just to blend it in a little bit more, go over it with some of that paint. You can see now I'm getting the shoulders and the collarbones, just anywhere that you need it to pop out a little bit more or where you would normally highlight in your makeup routine. Then with a little bit of the black paint on a fluffy brush, I did some shading around certain areas. This did look a little bit grungy, which is actually what I was going for. If you want it smoother, I don't know, use eyeshadow probably would be better, but I wanted it nice and splotchy. I'm using a stipple brush here. It's like a really small stipple brush. I can't even tell you where I got it, but anything that kind of looks like that will do. And I just added some rough shading. I really wanted this nice and textured. Again, I didn't want it very smooth. You can use other techniques like eyeshadow if you want a smoother look, but I mean, it's a monster, come on. Then I powdered all the cream paint that we had on there as well. The cream paint is like sticky, so you want to set that. Then I just actually went around the entire thing because the water paint was actually a little bit shinier than I wanted. I wanted a more matte look. You don't have to set water paints. They're not really going to smear or anything like that as they do dry down, but I wanted it a little more matte. Here I'm going actually in with a little bit of eyeshadow just to deepen up some of those areas. The paint wasn't quite enough to my liking, and this helped add some shading while keeping the texture. Now on a little liner brush, I go in with the black paint to add the stitches. I just create a line in between each of those red openings. I do just vary this. I go in different directions. Sometimes I add one stitch, sometimes I add two, crossing each other. Just whatever I felt like. You can do it however you wish. but I just added this on each little thing. This whole entire look was very time consuming, but oh my gosh, did it turn out really cool. I loved it. Just very, very detailed, so it did take some time. But now with a little bit of black eyeshadow on a bigger liner brush, it's kind of, I don't even know what to call it. It was in a pack of liner brushes, but it's like bigger. But I just go in with black eyeshadow and I add shading. I do this on each side of each stitch where it goes into the skin, and then I shade around where the skin opens to make it look a little bit more 3D, like the skin is raised up there. I leave a space which I'll actually highlight later. Hopefully that makes sense. A little bit further away from the red spots. Okay, you get it. Anyway, now I'm going in with the highlight like I was talking about. This is just white cream paint on another liner brush, and I'm going right along the edge of the openings to make it look a little bit more 3D, and then as well as right where the stitches would go into the skin to make the skin look raised there as well. Then with the white cream paint, I add a base to my eyelids and then pack a purple shade on the lid. This doesn't show up too much, but it adds just a little bit of a different color to the look. Now with a black eyeshadow, I do blend that out and shade around the eyes. I just build it up until I'm happy with it, just making it darker and darker, and then going along the lower lash line with this as well. Using a gel eyeliner, I line my eyes, I line my waterline as well as the upper waterline and along the upper lash line, and then with a black eyeshadow, again, I blend that out. With that black eyeshadow, I go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. I'm just using a regular old angled liner brush, and then I pop on a little bit of mascara and apply black lip hype or black lip. This is going to be NYX Liquid Suede in Alien. Now with a little bit of white water activated face paint, I go ahead and put that in my hair to create some gray streaks, kind of like the original Bride of Frankenstein, but I did it in my own stylized hairdo, and I added a few streaks rather than just one. But that is it for the look, you guys. I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that red subscribe button down below to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you want notifications when I upload a video, make sure that you hit that notification bell as well if you haven't done so. And that's it. I hope I see you guys next time, or the time after that, or the time after that. I love you so much. Bye. Struggling today. I keep choking on my own saliva, let's be honest. These are my green shoes. I got clean leggings on. These are my green sauces. I got a bean burrito in my bag. No. Okay. Just kidding. Stitches look legit. Thank you. They took daggum long enough, didn't they?